Sabrina 2000s comic, issue 88. It starts with a flash forward where Sabrina is sadly holding Harvey in what was supposed to be a happy night full of candy and magic tricks, and her friends from Charm School all look sad. It required guts to actually kill off a main character, and by guts, I mean complete insanity. None of the audience would want this. To have actual faith in the writer for some reason, I'm guessing this is not what it looks like. There's no reason to have this page here, it just wastes comic space. It turns out Sabrina and her friends want to throw a Halloween party in the house of Salem's old friend. But he'll be away on other business. What could he possibly be doing? He tells them to make sure no one goes into his gallery. If any of these so-called witches had a brain, there'd be force fields around the gallery to make it impossible to get in, along with, of course, an anti-portal field. Sabrina says Hilda won't let her go to the party without someone supervising, and Rune thinks his pet gargoyles will be accepted as supervisors, despite them having the minds of animals. Sabrina wastes my time talking to Landra with predictable dialogue. Anyway, Sabrina tells Landra to distract Hemlock for a few minutes while she'll waste her time talking to Shinji. Then Hemlock tries to turn him against Sabrina. Good thing it was explained that mind control spells are illegal, because otherwise, why doesn't Sabrina or Hemlock use those spells on each other? Also, Sabrina could have just turned Hemlock into a statue or something the second she saw she was betraying her. That would worry her family, so I guess she cares more about not upsetting her family. This is so predictable and melodramatic, I don't care about reading this. He's lied to that Sabrina is a spy, and he thinks that he doesn't know who to trust. What an idiot. Harvey gets told by Sabrina that witches can discreetly use magic to play tricks on mortals. But that's not discreet, it's still exposing magic. This rule makes the story entertaining, but it's so out of character for the comic. So we see the mortals getting scared by the house being made to look haunted in a typical way. Harvey gets floated and smiles about it, and candy flies into the pumpkin. Someone's creeped out by the moving gargoyles as they'll dismiss the magic as special effects, even though real life isn't a movie. Then a slow dance starts, Hemlock notices that Shinji isn't there, and Sabrina's proud of Harvey for standing up to his mom. It is less tense to just be told that he did it instead of having to see him do it, because I'd rather not see her. Amy gives up on Harvey supposedly, and Gwen reassures her. Shinji notices that the gallery that's totally not suspicious is locked. Gee, I wonder if anything important is in it. Shinji tells a gargoyle that he thought he heard a noise and was going to make sure there was no one in the gallery. So he goes into it and tells the gargoyle to follow him. That was easy. The bat flies into Zelda's house overhead and easily gets to the dead leaf that Sabrina kept in her room. The measly one dead leaf. She was too lazy to go look for any other leaves. And maybe Hemlock talking is why Hilda heard her and knew to go to her. But because Hilda's a complete and utter idiot, she destroys my respect for her even more by wasting time interrogating her, instead of just instantly using magic to freeze Hemlock, so that she won't be able to bother her. She could freeze her just enough that she'd still be able to talk, but wouldn't be able to move, or use magic. So I don't respect the way the rest of the scene's gonna go, because there's clearly no excuse for it after an all-powerful witch caught her. Hilda's told that Harvey and Sabrina found the mana tree leaf. Why would Sabrina tell anyone that she found the leaf with Harvey anyways? She could have very easily not mentioned Harvey. So this is forced. And Hilda just keeps letting Hemlock talk for no reason. Hemlock accuses Sabrina of causing the mana tree leaf to die. Well, that would be something that people might accuse Sabrina of doing, rather than believing that it was always dying. Hilda would be an idiot to believe her. Hemlock pushes her luck by taunting Hilda because Harvey found the mana tree. Finally, Hilda ties her up and calls her a trespasser in her home who can be turned over to the authorities. Hemlock says that if she lets her go, she can keep the evidence to destroy and save her career. It'd be crossing the moral event horizon for Hilda if she destroyed the leaf. It's immediately obvious that Sabrina wants to show all of her friends that leaf, for good reason. And come to think of it, why on earth isn't that at the party? She would have obviously brought the leaf to the party to show it to the resistance. She had no reason to put it off for even a second if she could just warp to her friends with it whenever she wants. She has no reason to keep it there. Also, she could have taken a picture of it as soon as she got it, and made copies of the pictures, so she's really impossibly stupid. Hilda storms out of the house, with no indication that she freed Hemlock. She's not being told by her boss to storm out of the house. She's not on an official government assignment, so she could have easily not gotten involved. Eventually, Hilda tells everyone to stop the party. She questions Sabrina about the mana tree. Why is she mad at her? Sabrina clearly told her that she knew the tree was dying, and she actually believed her, so this shouldn't be surprising to her. She says that Sabrina did a foolish thing and calls it a terrible crime. What a complete idiot. This is the same person who revealed magic to what she thought was immortal just because she saw human Salem. She did a terrible crime. Not to mention she happily reveals magic to mortals on Halloween. She'd never be able to handle hearing about actual bad things like murder. Besides, Hilda throughout the entire 70s and 80s and most of the 90s stories happily revealed magic. Harvey stands up for Sabrina that she brought him to the other realm because he kept asking her to, and Hilda talks as if she'll actually erase his memory of magic anyways. Ugh, this is such forced bad drama writing. I can't stand this bullshit unlikable excuse for a comic. This is clearly not how Sabrina is meant to be written. It's a children's comic that started out as a comedy. It couldn't possibly be more melodramatic than this. It wouldn't be so bad if Hilda was only erasing his memory of magic. It makes no sense that she would make him forget about her. It makes no sense that the witches would completely get rid of someone's memories of the witch entirely. That's the sloppiest way to handle it ever. It's sort of changing who the person is. It'll feel like she killed him. Hilda betrays Sabrina, pretending to be regretful of it, but if she was really regretful, she wouldn't do it. And the story actually has the gall to end there, with Hilda thinking that a simple apology will work after she betrayed her niece. Harvey losing his memory was such a foreshadowed, logical consequence that I didn't think it would happen because it's so predictable and immediately obvious that the audience would hate and despise that. Can you believe that this never gets undone? And Hilda has no excuse for doing something unforgivable like that when she wasn't told to, and nobody would know if she didn't. This could have been revealed to all just be a dream. Sabrina 2000s comic, issue 89. After the melodramatic bullshit of last issue's bad fanfiction ending, which was tacky enough to happen just a few issues after Harvey found out about magic and shook up the status quo in a refreshing way that's never been done before because he stayed with Sabrina. This issue has the goal to bore me to death with a pathetically forced attempt at a joke. Nobody would attempt a yard sale in a place with no people in it like this, and there's way too much dialogue here. Sabrina says she's not running away, she's just avoiding going home because she doesn't want to be anywhere near Hilda. That's what Hilda deserves. She should never speak to her again. Sabrina doesn't even want to spend time with Zelda because she told her the truth about her parents. Well, that's not really fair. She should have said she doesn't want to spend time with her because she sided with Hilda. At least that I'd expect. Really, her aunts would deserve if she never went to see them again. She could create a house wherever she wants. Sabrina comes back home and finds out that her dead mana leaf is missing. All because she was somehow too stupid to simply bring it to the Halloween party. She could have kept it with her wherever she went. Kept it in her pocket. You'd think she'd have taken a picture of it with her phone before Hilda could betray her by getting rid of it for no reason at all. Granted, she didn't know that would happen, but she has every reason to be paranoid because the government wouldn't want her to have this thing. Sadly, instead of Sabrina getting to blow up at her aunts for the betrayal, my time's wasted with Zelda telling her that her father loved her and died. Really, why would Hilda take away the dead leaf? I know she wants to preserve her job, but what makes her think she would get fired for Sabrina succeeding? It just doesn't make any sense. She believed her about the tree dying. She should know that if the tree's dying, the queen should be overthrown. Out of nowhere, it turns out that her father was involved with the Four Blades movement, a manga-exclusive thing for a comic that was originally based off the sitcom. Her mother already knew he was a warlock when she married him, and the divorce happened because she didn't approve of him joining the rebels. So it's more complicated than just he was a warlock, like everyone would assume. It's understandable, but still trying too hard. He spent more time in the other realm than with her. And because she knew too much, her mother's memories were erased, even though she was completely harmless. So she doesn't even remember her daughter anymore, because melodrama, even though the sitcom didn't do that for good reason. It's common sense that they wouldn't erase all of her memories, just the ones that are a problem, because witches are totally capable of being that specific. A good comic doesn't make you sad and frustrated and nothing but that. I shouldn't have to explain this, but those are negative emotions, and we like to have positive emotions, which is what trying to be charming and funny provides. Sabrina then opens a little chest and is surprised, but it cuts ahead in time. Zelda wants Hilda to make it up to Sabrina, as if that's even possible. In fact, I'm offended that she even says this. And somehow, Hilda's confused about why Sabrina would have a dead mana leaf, because the writer seems to have forgotten that Sabrina already told her that the tree was dying and she believed her. Of course she would want to gather evidence. Sabrina sees a newspaper headline about the Four Blades revival rumor. How did it get out? And we really didn't need to see that Harvey was ignoring Sabrina in high school and just high-fiving some random guy instead. That's cringeworthy. And there's a reason the sitcom didn't have him forget Sabrina. Why is Hemlock still in the Resistance? Hilda would have told Sabrina everything about Hemlock being in her room because she's her loved one. Shinji says he needs to recruit more people for the army. He's told that some of the teens think this is just a game, and the rumors of the revival are leaking out. Shinji shouldn't be planning the attack to literally happen on the next Four Blades day then. I understand why he wants to, but that's the most predictable time for the attack. Why can't it be just before then? Sabrina hopes there's a way to restore the memories of those people. If that's even possible, it's common sense the writer is restoring Harvey's memories eventually. Landra says that nothing can replace destroyed memories. Yeah, just ignore that Sabrina recovered from amnesia instantly. Meaning that's not like the memories were permanently deleted, they're just put in the recycling bin, and her magic accessed them. Even magic from someone as powerful as him could only do it temporarily somehow. I don't know why Sabrina doesn't use magic to make a fake dead mana tree leaf. So that scene was a complete waste of time. Shinji tells Sabrina that he can't confront Hemlock directly or she'll know he's suspicious and really turn on the team. Why can't Sabrina just use magic to show Shinji what she saw Hemlock do near the tree? Well, he'd probably just call it an illusion. Sabrina explains that wands aren't really used anymore, except for formal duels. Oh, so the magic contest where she won the right to see the floating island was just a formal duel? They have no magic on their own and are just for show. They're like swords. Then why should I care about them? In fact, it doesn't make any sense that they would even use them then. If they had magic on their own, then they'd have a point because they would save magic on the person using them. So it would make sense that they used them for the magic contest. So she gets 2 wands and says that no one can use 2 at once. Another arbitrary, nonsensical way to try to underpower the witches. Let me guess, because she can do the impossible, she can use 2 wands. Her being overpowered doesn't make up for anything in the comic. If she can do the impossible, why doesn't she just point to Harvey and restore all of his memories? It's the Chaos Knuckles problem all over again. Gwen hugs her and comforts her about Harvey. You know what would be unforgivably sadistic of the writer? We really don't need to see a scene where her memory of magic gets erased too. Good thing Sabrina had the sense to not get her involved in the Halloween party. I already want Hilda gone from the comic. She needs to return Harvey to normal. Gwen says she has to chaperone her dog's date with Salem. See, this is how ridiculous and rules ignoring this comic is. Salem clearly wouldn't date a dog. And he hates her because she's a chatterbox. Nothing makes sense in this comic. And it actually has a tone that wants you to take it seriously. Sabrina agrees to go with Gwen to take any excuse to get out of the house. But for some reason, she still wastes my time with an annoying stupid scene with Salem where he says he's just gonna go on the date for free food. Even though he gets free food at home. Sabrina gets advice in this boring padding by Gwen. She's told to reintroduce herself to Harvey as a friend. She says it'd take years to get to normal with him, and she doesn't want to go back to him being reserved around her. This scene is worthless too. Why should I bother reading about any of the date? The dialogue is just boring. Sabrina's considering going to get a job in the other realm after she graduates, And she's told that losing Harvey will let her achieve whatever she wants without having to hold back for his sake. That's a good point. It's just a shame that Shinji looks so terrible and isn't dating her. That's impossible for me to fully appreciate all of the writer's points about why she shouldn't date Harvey. Like, I get it, he's immortal, but he looks good and Shinji doesn't, and is clearly an asshole. This scene is just boring and annoying. The so-called comedy is just bad. Any attempt at lightheartedness can't make up for what happened to Harvey, who was a constant source of lightheartedness when he was with Sabrina. I really don't know why he couldn't have stayed with her for the whole comic. The story ends with the two wands together seeming to crackle, even though I thought wands didn't have power on their own. So I guess they do. This story was about Sabrina bringing Harvey to a Halloween party, and Hemlock finds Sabrina's dead mana leaf. So Hilda catches her, and then because Hemlock easily found out that Harvey saw the mana tree, Hilda decides to go to the party and completely betrays Sabrina, crossing the moral event horizon. You know, it could be forgivable that he loses memory of magic, but the fact that he loses memory of her, it's just sick. The fact that this never gets undone, why are we expected to still want Hilda around as a character after this? So many pointless, forgettable scenes in this issue. I guess the only thing that mattered that happened was that Sabrina got 2 wands. They could have easily not shown Harvey ever again after this instead of rubbing it in. She would just take him to the council, and they would determine which exact memories they have to get rid of. It doesn't have to be melodramatic, and you know, it doesn't even have to be emphasized. It was nice, it was lighthearted that he was with Sabrina. It should have continued for the rest of the comic. Instead, there's no charm left in it.